And we are back here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast, bringing you our second segment. But before we do that, I would like to ask you again to please like and follow the show. We do get a number of questions from viewers, so to ensure that your question does get read in the air, please use the link, gsmcpodcast.net. It really does help the show, and it really does mean a lot, so thank you so much for that. It doesn't only help me, but helps the entire network and all the great content creators on this channel. So thank you for that, and let's get back into our second segment of the day, which is going to be going over the American League standings of right now. You know, it is the end of the week. I just want to touch upon it before we go to the weekend. So, we're going to start off with the AL West, and we're going to go from 5 to 1 in each division, of course, so, and just give my takeaways for each one. So, let's get straight into it. For number 5 in the AL East, the last place team, we have the Toronto Blue Jays. Now, this is sort of surprising for the Blue Jays, of course, as I think there is two teams worse than them, in my opinion, the Rays and the Red Sox. But they've also had a pretty hard start to the season for them right now, so, it isn't that crazy. I mean, they played Tampa. They split with them, which was nice. I think both those teams are pretty even. They lost to Houston, who was coming off a bad series against the Yankees. They're kind of looking for vengeance. They lost 2 to the Yankees, so they've had, again, playing the Yankees, the Rays, the Astros. It's a hard start. They played the Mariners, and next they play the Rockies. So I think they should be able to beat the Rockies pretty easily, but they've had a hard start to the season, so I'm not taking it I'm not taking it as like a whole. I'm kind of taking it with a grain of salt, is what I was trying to say. So, yeah, that's kind of it. But still, I'm not too worried about the Red Sox. I don't really think anyone should be. So, Next, we have the Tampa Bay Rays, who are 4th in the AL East with a 7-6 record. So they're above 500, and they're still 4th. I mean, it's pretty great, this division. So the Rays have kind of had an easy schedule so far, playing teams like the Angels pretty consistently. So it's kind of surprising that they're 7-6. I mean, looking at their schedule right now, they played the Blue Jays. They split with. That's fine. Played the Rangers, who aren't easy, but they played the Rockies and they played the Angels. I feel like they should have swept both those teams, and instead they lost 2 out of 6. So I might be a little worried about the Rays. I still think they have a lot of question marks about their pitching and about their shortstop position. So we'll be watching them, but 7-6 isn't that bad, and we'll just see how they keep going for the start of the season. Next team in 3rd place, we have the same record as the Rays, the Boston Red Sox, who are 7-6. A big surprise here, as they've kind of surprised a lot of people, but I'll give it to them. Their pitching has been pretty good. The younger guys have started to step up a little bit. They've had some easier opponents. Yes, they played the A's already, so that might have been contributing to their record, but I still think they're an okay team. I didn't think they were a bad team. I just think there's 4 better teams in that division than them, so I'm going to take this with a grain of salt as well. I don't think the Red Sox are a 3rd place team. Oh, wow, the lights just turned off again. That has never happened. I apologize. I'm going to go back. Sorry. Hi, guys. They just turned back on. Usually the lights turn off once, but twice in a minute period is kind of crazy. But let's hope it doesn't happen again. I'm really hoping that does not happen. It is very inconvenient. I don't know why it happens, but we're just gonna keep going. Is what it is, I guess. So for Boston, again, I'm taking it with a grain of salt. I don't think that they're a horrible team, but I just think there's better teams in the AL and the AL East than them. So, that's kind of it. The Orioles are 8-4 in 2nd place. Not too crazy to me. I think they've played up to their potential so far. I think they'll be a little better than 8-4 or a 667 winning percentage. I think they'll be a little better than that. But it's not too crazy, especially now with the calling up of Jackson Holiday. I do think the team is really going to improve a lot. So, I'm just watching them. The pitching is the biggest key. I said, Grayson Rodriguez had a great start. So that was, that's a big positive for you guys. And you're getting Kyle Bradish back soon. So I think the Orioles should really take off, and I'm really looking forward to watching them and what they do end up doing. Next, we have the Yankees at 10-3, 769 winning percentage in first in the AL East. Now, is this a surprise? Not really that they're in first. I mean, I had them in second. I said it was pretty much a toss-up between them and the Orioles for the AL East. I did lean the Orioles, but because of the Garrett Cole injury, but at the same time, it's not too crazy. So, yeah, for the Yankees, I mean, they're a really great team, and they've proved it so far. They swept the Astros to start off the season, which was insane. Their pitching has been really good. Juan Soto's been exactly as advertised, which I thought he would be. I don't think anyone really thought he would be horrible, but he is Juan. I mean, he is Juan Soto after all. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. So, yeah, but the Yankees have been really, really great. The pitching has come in handy now with Garrett Cole being out. The offense has been really good. Judge hasn't even gotten it together yet, so once Judge gets it together, this team's going to be really, really good, and I'm looking forward to watching them and seeing what they do. So, yeah, just interested in seeing how the Yankees finish off the season and if they can continue this kind of barrage of being great. So, yeah. Next, we have the AL Central. I'm going to go from bottom to top. In last place in the AL Central, no surprise, is the Chicago White Sox. We're not going to really spend too much time on the White Sox. They're really bad. They don't have many good players. One of their better players, Roel Moncada, just got hurt. So, again, not surprising whatsoever that the White Sox are set 2-10, last in the AL Central. They're bad. We all know this. Moving on. Now, in fourth place is the big surprise here, the Minnesota Twins. Now, the Twins are 4-6, which is really crazy. I did not expect this. I still think they're a really good team. It is surprising that this happened. They haven't had that hard of a schedule so far. I mean, they played Kansas City to start off with, who I think they are better than them. I don't think they're significantly better than Kansas City, but I do think they're better. I think they're a better team. They won 2 out of 3. Fine start there. You're in Kansas City as well. Not too crazy. Next, they played Milwaukee, where they lost 2 out of 3 in July. They played Milwaukee for 2. They split that. Again, Milwaukee's a solid team, and they were coming off a high of that Met series, so even there. And then they played Cleveland. And the interesting was they lost 2 games to Cleveland. The third game got rained out. So they lost a series. They got swept in a series technically by Cleveland, which is not good. And then they played the Dodgers. Of course, they only won 1 out of 3, which is perfectly fine against the Dodgers. It's just, I think you should have capitalized more off that Cleveland series. Losing 2 is pretty unacceptable. And I think you could have also swept Milwaukee. So, I'm not too worried about Minnesota, but I think there are some things here to watch and see what can happen with them. They have been hit hard by the injury bug, specifically to their bullpen, which could be something to watch. But I still think they're a really good team, and definitely watching them as the season does go on. Third in the AL Central is the Detroit Tigers, 7-4. I mean, props to them. They've been really, really good. Their new additions have been performing. Their young players have been performing. And I'm looking forward to seeing them keeping it up. I'm not really sure how good they can be, but I think they're going to be better than in the years past, where they were kind of the lowly Tigers. So we'll definitely see what can happen with them, and I'm definitely looking forward to watching them. I think the big key is their pitching. I think they have some really nice guys there. Looking at that rotation, of course, Tarek Skubal, who I picked to win Cy Young. You have Reese Olson, Jack Flaherty, Matt Manning, Casey Mize. So you have those guys. Bullpen is really nice as well. Alex Lange, Will Vest, Jason Foley, Andrew Chafin. They have some really nice guys in the pen, and just pitching overall as well. Some nice hitters like Riley Green, Parker Meadows, Spencer Torkelson. So I think the Tigers could be a really good team, and I had them finishing second in the AL Central. So I don't think it's a big surprise that they're 7-4, and I think they're going to be a team above 500 for the season. Next, we have the Kansas City Royals, who are 9-4. Now, the Royals, I think, are going to be good, but I don't think they're going to be this good. I mean, they just swept the Astros, who, yes, have some problems, but they're still the Astros. They still have that amazing lineup. So they're won, I think, 4 straight is now 9-4. Just, they've really been lighting it up, and their new additions have come in handy. The pitching has been great with the new additions, like guys like Michael Wacha, Seth Lugo. The offense has been great. Pasquantino has been great. MJ Melendez has been great. Vidi Pasquantino has been great. Bobby Witt, of course. So, yeah, I mean, Kansas City has really been stellar so far, and I thought they would be good, but not this good. So definitely looking forward to seeing if they can keep this up, and even if they can't, I still think they're a really solid team, and really looking forward to what they can do. Now, the biggest surprise has been Cleveland, who somehow is 9-3 and is the top of the AL Central. I don't know how they're 9-3, but they are. Hey, props to them, right? I mean, they opened the series against Oakland. They won 3 out of 4. No surprise there. We all know Oakland is awful. But then they won 2 out of 3 against Seattle, swept the Twins technically. Of course, won 2 out of 3 to the White Sox. So, as much as they have had an easy schedule playing teams like the A's and the White Sox, Minnesota and Seattle are two really good teams. So I'm not going to necessarily sit here and say that they're horrible, but because they have beaten good teams, and it's just the product of their schedule. Now they've beaten some good teams. So I think having a new manager is kind of one of the biggest things. I think Stephen Vogt has looked really, really good so far. He's shown he can be an MLB manager. Maybe that's gone into them a little bit. Maybe it's shown them that we are a great young team. We are really good, and he's kind of putting a new life force in them, a new energy. So that's possible. But yeah, the Guardians have really surprised me being atop, and props to them. They've been winning games in a good way. Now, they did lose one of their better players in Shane Bieber, which is obviously going to be a big deal. But at the same time, they're still winning. So we'll see what happens with that. But I don't think this is going to last that much longer, but I also don't think they're a horrible team. So we'll definitely see what happens with them so far this season and see what they end up doing. In the AL West, we're going to go from, of course, fifth to first, and fifth is somehow, some way, nobody expected this. The 4-10 Houston Astros. The Astros are 4-10. Think about that for a second. The Houston Astros are 4-10. Like, that's insane to me. And it's not just a 4-10 where, it's just they're getting unlucky. No, they have serious problems right now. Their pitching has not been good. Their bullpen is not giving them length. Their starting rotation has not been good. They got swept to start the season 0-4. They beat 2 at Toronto, yes, but they split with the Rangers, nice, but they got swept by the Royals as well. So they have some problems right now. And they're fifth. Are they going to stay in fifth? No. Do I still think they'll win that division? Yes. Do I still think they're going to make the playoffs? Yes. But they have some problems right now, and if they want to do these things that I think everyone knows they're capable of, they have to be better, and they have to get healthy. So I'm definitely watching them now and seeing what does happen. Seattle right now is 5-8. A little disappointing in my opinion. I thought they would be better. Splitting with the Red Sox was bad. Losing a series to the Guardians was bad. Losing a series to Milwaukee was bad, and losing a series to Toronto was bad. So, yeah, just simply they have to play better. Their pitching has not been as good as I expected it to be, as I expected it to be so far. So, I think really the pitching is the biggest thing. They have to improve on that. They have a lot of great young pitchers who I think are going to be big parts of their core. So, yeah, just watching that and seeing how they do perform. The next somehow is the A's at 5-8 and third in the AL West. I don't know how that's possible. Don't ask me. I really don't know. We're just kind of going to glide over this. Yeah, the A's are going to be bad. They're going to be really, really bad. I don't think they're going to be at third for much longer. I would expect them to fall back down to earth. And definitely thinking this happens. And I don't think this is going to stay now for a little while. Nope, did not mean to do that. I'm sorry, with all the technical difficulties that happened today, I did not mean to press the outro button. Going to second in the AL West here, we have the Angels somehow, who are 6-5. This is actually a pretty good record. I think the Angels would be 6-5. I think this is pretty even for them. Sorry, they're 6-6. I read that wrong. Yeah, I think they're pretty much 500. I don't think there's too much to say there. They're second in the AL West because the Mariners and Astros have underperformed, but I don't think they'll be there for a lot long. I don't think they're sticking there, so I want to get to adjusted to second place Angels fans, but I still think they're not a horrible team, especially with the Mike Trout resurgence at 500. I think that's kind of exactly what they are. Again, with the lights, that'll be fixed over break, I promise. The Rangers are in first in the AL West with 7-6. I think first is fine with them. They're a really good team. I think finishing in the AL West, first in the AL West, isn't too crazy. So, yeah, we're going to go to a break here now. Sorry about the problems during this segment. I really don't know what happened here. We're going to go to our third segment, which is going to be talking about the NL standings, since it is a Friday. So, yeah, we'll be talking about that, and we'll see you after the break. Thanks, and bye.